Hello, I'm Debbie Bell hosking for Finextra TV at EBAday 2024 in Lisbon, and I'm joined by Simon McConnell and Annick Moes, both of the Euro Banking Association, or EBA. And we're getting a sneak peek of an EBA survey called Stock Taking Cross-Border Payments Initiatives. And we'll be looking at two questions. What's crucial to make cross-border payments better, and how do we get there? Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, and what a bird's eye view on EBAday.
It's superb.
It is superb.
Your view is really priceless.
It is. So let's get back to the survey that I've just mentioned. If I come to you first, Simon, why an EBA survey on cross-border payments?
This probably dates back to our annual board review in 2022, where we looked at, well, what are we going to focus on in 2023? And cross-border payments came up as a topic from a survey we did of our membership base. And it's such a hot topic in terms of what we're seeing the CPMI, the FSB come up with in terms of their building blocks. And we're seeing a lot of banks asking questions as to, it's mesmerising, there's so much stuff happening in that space. There's so many initiatives out there being run by various different organisations, and essentially they all have their own unique selling point. And what the banks were asking is, can we get through the marketing speak and see whether it's actually adding real value to the marketplace itself? So we worked with a number of our members. We had about 12 in the working group, and we spent a lot of time through 2023 devising the survey, which we released earlier on this year.
So, there's so much choice out there, and in a way you had to do a lot of research to really find the facts of the initiatives that are out there.
Yeah, we had to kind of dig underneath the as I said, the marketing speak, just to see whether that there was real value there, so that our members could effectively determine whether investing in one rather than another would make sense.
Thank you, Simon. And it's clearly such a collaborative effort on everyone's part. So we've heard now about the work that's gone into this survey. Annick, could you share with us some of the key findings?
Gladly so, Debbie. So, I like to use that image of actually sorting through your fridge, because it's a bit similar. The banks know that there are all these initiatives in the market, and it is like there are these boxes and these bags stacked in your fridge that you haven't investigated that closely in a while, and might have contributed to some of them, or maybe your colleagues have. And now we've asked them to actually come together, sit together, and look into these boxes one by one and establish what the content is and whether it actually is good enough to meet the G20 objectives that are so relevant for their customers. And the good news is, actually, some of them are really going to make a difference if they are put to good use and the industry decides to really, play that card and use that solution and maybe combine it with other contributors or other solutions. And so we know, for instance, now through the survey that in terms of transparency, but also to a bit of a lesser extent, but still in terms of cost and also in terms of speed, and that was probably the most important one, there will be a big element of progress and of enhancements that can be rolled out to customers if we act collectively as an industry, of course, on these findings now.
So we've heard from Annick now in terms of the action that went in and the things that were discovered and the fact that people were really looking at things, which is a great exercise. We've been through that now. And because of the sneak peek we're getting ahead of your official release of your survey, if you could just share with us, what would you suggest would be the next steps?
So the next steps, we've got kind of the initial results back from the independent firm that we used. We're digesting them internally as a working group. I think what we'd like to do is, over the summer and into the early part of the autumn, we look to drill into those results, try and get a qualitative view behind those results in terms of, well, why do we think we got that answer? It's an anonymous survey, I think it's important to say that. We do have a profile in terms of the banks that are answering the question, but it's then trying to really understand why and bring out some of that colour into the report that we're going to issue later on in the year. Just so we get that more coloured view for our underlying membership.
And it's such a hot topic, cross-border payments.
Indeed, and just to add on to what Simon just said, we're actually so excited also to get the feedback from the banks. You know, what do the results mean to them? How did our survey, which really had a huge pan-European coverage, which had a lot of the leading cross-border payment actors actually participating, how does that compare to what they came to internally in terms of conclusions? You know, what is the benchmark for them, and how will that influence their actions and their decisions going forward? And what collaborative needs will it generate that they will come back to us then also to help solve?
Well, thank you so much. Isn't it great that we get this sneak peek now? And I look forward to learning more about once it's officially released and how we're moving forward with this topic. So Simon and Annick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.